What's going on, people? Sorry, we're about a minute late starting. Um, hey, welcome to the Fighter Share Report. It's Wednesday. Uh, we'll get you in and out of here pretty quickly, get you informed and maybe entertained. What's going on, bro?
Hey man, I can't call it. It is hump day. And we are looking at our Sunday best today, so I guess we gotta get the people what they came here for, man.
Well, Jalen and Jacoby got that statement already taken. We got to find another catch for us. They got that one wrapped up. It can stay in the 30s. I'm good with it. 20s, 30s, I'm good with it.
I mean, when you got that natural insulation, bro, it's cool. I get it.
No, real men come from the north. So we can deal with
Oh, there we go. Okay, there we go. That sums it all up. Let's
we can deal with the cold.
I'm saying these names not because they're essentially the best fighters out there, which we can make a case for Shakur Stevenson, definitely. They just look that much better than whoever they fight.
I think he might want to keep this thing on the feet and stay any way possible. Stay away from that guillotine choke. he was squeezing Buddy's face in the last fight and put him out.
Come on, dog. Let's fight.
Welcome to the Fighter Share Report. What's going on, family? Hey, what's going on, Badger?
What's happening, bro?
Hey, we got
man,
boxing.
Listen, shouts out to Jay and Jacoby. I know that was their thing. Listen, it's been a good day so far. I'm good on the cabbage, brother, so please do your thing.
Lord. Well, it's gonna be a long show. Listen, boxing starts tonight. We had a friend of the show on late last year. Oh, it might have been the beginning of this year. Kenny from Killer Boxing. And he put us on to this young man. We all saw his father fight. And this fight comes to you today. I'm not sure what time. They didn't have it listed, but it's from Newcastle, Australia. We got Tim Tszyu versus Dennis Hogan. And if you don't know who Tim Tszyu is, his father is Kostya Tszyu, a Russian who fought in, I wanted to say Australia, right? That's where he went over to and started fighting?
Yes.
Because I thought it was South Africa, but I think it was Australia.
No, it was Australia.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And when they brought him to America, he just had a nice, like a flair to his style, man. And he was a great fighter. And they say his son is a little bigger and what can he say, kind of a little more intense?
Yeah. And his dad was a natural puncher, in case anybody don't remember. I mean, most people know that. Never mind, I'm going to do it to Zab Jr.
Go ahead, do it.
Google or YouTube Kostya Tszyu, and the first thing that's going to pop up, you know
Zab
what I'm talking about. But yeah, his son appears to be a natural puncher like his pops. He's naturally bigger, though. He is fighting at middleweight. I am interested, bro, because we all know who Dennis Hogan is as well. We've had the privilege of seeing him fight a few times under the PBC banner. He's a tough fighter, right? I mean, he's somebody that's going to make you work. Like, if you're a good fighter, you're going to do what you have to do against him. But this is going to be a crossroads fight. Here we go. What am I about to say? We're going to learn a whole lot more about Tim Tszyu than we are about Dennis Hogan in this fight. Dennis Hogan is the game. He's the vet. He's the opponent. He's the gatekeeper up until the next echelon, I guess, of competition. So that's what this fight is for. This is supposed to be Tim Tszyu's crowning moment. This is his coronation to the rest of the world. He has a reputable opponent that we saw against other fighters that, you know, are perceived to be good or even champions at 160 pounds. So yeah, we'll get a good idea how good this kid really is.
I'm looking forward to it. Again, check your local listings. It just says independent pay-per-view. So you know what that means. April 1st, tomorrow, April Fool's Day. Wow. Maybe we shouldn't do the show. We got Antonio Suarez or Soares. I think that's Suarez. instead of the U there, versus Alan Solis. Now, we've seen Alan Solis. That fight is at 10 p.m. Eastern time on UFC Fight Pass. It's a boxing match, but it's on UFC Fight Pass. So Dana's winning at every angle. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, okay. All right, go ahead.
And then the big one this weekend, Carl Frampton versus Jamel Herring on Saturday. That's going to be on BT Sports and ESPN. And it comes on at 4 p.m. because it's coming from England. So
yes, sir.
Understand it's going to be – actually, no, that's not coming from England. That's coming from Caesars Blue Waters in Dubai.
Well, that's right. They are in Abu Dhabi. That's correct.
Yeah.
I've been seeing them over there like since Monday. But yes, they are definitely in over there in Dubai. Yes.
So that's 4 p.m. Eastern to watch that on ESPN. Please, that's going to be a good fight.
That's the hype.
That is.
That's the hype for the weekend, man. Like, that's okay. That's my Saturday. That's okay. 4 o'clock. I'm locked in for 2 hours. That's where I'm at. That's going to be a good fight, bro. I think this potentially be fight of the year, bro.
That's going to be for the WBO super featherweight title. So I'm looking forward to this one. Yeah. That one I already let the missus know. Look, I'm home at 4, blocking off a couple hours. So whatever you want to do, we can do before or after.
Because it's in the middle of the afternoon, so it kind of works out, right?
It's
still over enough time for you to do something that she wants in the evening.
No, you haven't. You haven't been married.
I'm sorry.
At this point, they always want to do something during that block. Yeah, so she'll just be mad at me for Saturday evening. All right, let's move on. Listen, Bellator kicks off this weekend. Bellator 255, and Bellator is so smart. They're doing it on Friday night. Friday night, baby. Friday night, while you're already out at the bars, the club, whatever. Somebody's going to have the fight. If you're home, got a cold one cracked open, you can watch Bellator. Not going to interfere with any of the games. You're good. Bellator, not going to interfere with the final four. You're good. You're good. I can't wait for this one. And listen, we got a title fight on there. Fabricio Ferreira versus Emmanuel Sanchez. But the one that stands out to me, and bro, I know you're gonna be shocked, but the one that stands out to me on that fight card, actually two. Matt Mitrione, former UFC. Haven't seen Matt Mitrione in forever. He starts off the pay-per-view versus Terrell Fortune. Again, we've seen him.
Yeah, I remember him. Okay.
That fight right there intrigues me.
Oh, man.
But then the next fight got me. Alpha Cat Zingano versus Olivia Parker. If you have not seen Cat Zingano, exactly. The one who beat Amanda Nunes. Yes.
Yeah, look at that. But then she proceeded to get washed by everybody in concession after that.
Actually,
but yes.
Alpha Cat's been doing very well. Very well, even before she left.
But I'm saying, after she got the loss, she kind of went downhill quick. She kind of.
But then she's
still fighting.
Yeah, she had a series of injuries, but then she's been doing well in Bellator. I mean, she rebounded, and she didn't have a losing record even when she left the UFC.
Well, she was one of the top dogs. She was
and a ferocious wrestler, and she became a great submission artist. But yeah, it was amazing when I saw her fight Amanda Nunes. What she did, couldn't do it now, but I remember what she did then, and it was like wow. But yeah, that's gonna be, to me, that the women's fight, even though it's number 2 on the card, it might be the best fight on there. Because some of the other ones, like Usman Nurmagomedov versus Mike Hamill, not real familiar.
Yeah, I've seen Mike Hamill before. But I mean, again, we know what this is. This is for Khabib's brother Usman to look. This is a showcase, right?
So he's got a brother.
They ain't turned up the heat on him yet. So it's
So he's got a brother in the UFC and in Bellator. This is interesting.
Hey man, family business, brother.
But I love it because it bridges. Whichever organization's doing better, the other brother can be the bridge to bring the other one through.
That's a long term way of looking at it.
Yeah,
Hey, but I do want to talk about that, bro. This is an interesting strategy for Bellator because most times fights typically don't work out well on Friday nights, but we're in a different time now. We're living in a different generation, right? And we're also in the right time of year for it, given how the tournament, all that stuff worked out too. This is a strategic play by Bellator.
and it's on Showtime.
I'm not sure if this works out long term, but I think right now this is good. I think this is good, and I think they're able to test it out because they don't have to throw their big fish out there on these days yet. This is a good kind of test out moment, right? This is them kind of saying, "Hey, we're here. Check us out. We got better stuff coming down the road.
All this month,
tremendous light heavyweight tournament coming. That the entire world be watching that,
and so, it starts this month on Fridays. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. What I love about this though, bro, they made it work on Thursday nights. On independent networks. They made it work on Thursday nights on pay-per-view. So if you can make it work on a Thursday, you'd think, but Friday's a tricky night. You're right.
Yeah,
Friday is a tricky night.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But it's
the fact that the circumstances.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I just think with the circumstances and the way people have just kind of almost developed this bloodlust over a short period of time for content that, yeah, put it out there. Somebody's going to take it. Somebody's going to be there for it to see it. So you got to shoot your shot.
And the fact that it's happening on a Friday night on Showtime, bars, restaurants, whatever, can get Showtime. It's not like they have to contract like some pay-per-view networks. So I think it's a win-win. And if you're at home, if you have Showtime, you can get it. Look, our producer put up the NFL to 17, but there are a couple things we want to cover in this segment. How do you feel about the 17th game, bro?
Come on, man. You know I ain't in favor of that.
And they say, well, we got rid of one preseason game. We should have gotten rid of at least one preseason game when you were playing 16 games. But that 17th game, you're not getting paid any more money. It just stretches out your check. Because most people don't understand how the NFL players get paid. So, you know, it is what it is. And they're not shortening, starting the season early by one game. They're extending the season by one game. So now the Super Bowl will be the second weekend in February.
So let me just share something with you that doesn't really quantify as anything. You can't. It's not really tangible, right? But it's something more that I think people can feel. This just feels weird.
Mm-hmm.
This just feels weird. I mean, in a time where we're starting to lose so many things, in a time where so much that we hold as tradition is now looked at as taboo or just, you just do away with it altogether. 17 games is just weird. Why?
I can tell you why.
So there's no more 8-8 teams? So you can no more just be average? And we have 17 games. What's the 17th game for? Because is that an extra division game? Or is that a seeding game? Because I'm still trying to figure out what it does for the NFL because it could possibly water down your product. I mean, could you imagine being, I guess, 16-0 and trying to go for that 17-0 to eventually be that 20-0 now to beat that 19-0 Patriots team that lost? It's kind of like, well, what do we just add another game for? Like, none of this makes sense, bro. Now, business-wise, whatever.
It's an interdivision game, to answer that question. They're adding one more conference versus conference game, and it'll be a home and away. So if the AFC will get it this year, the NFC will get it next year. But in the bigger picture, it'll be easier for them to expand later. Because the NFL is looking. Don't be surprised in the next 5 to 10 years, there are 40 teams in the NFL. 40 minimum. We have one of the smallest pro sports leagues in the world when you look at the NFL. Well, North American sports. You look at other continents, other countries, they have huge sports league teams. I mean, franchises like 50, 60 teams in a league. So that's what I'm saying. It's when I heard that about a year ago, it's like it makes sense. The NFL at some point is going to have to expand. You can't just keep moving teams from market to market to appease people. Eventually, they're going to be markets like St. Louis. That really wants a team. The Dome was horrible, but they really want a team. And you know, San Antonio, they got a stadium still sitting there that was built for football. But, you know, now it's just sitting there for hosting bowl games.
And a lot of these, like you said, a lot of these southern cities are growing. You got cities like Raleigh, North Carolina. It's predominantly a college town, but they probably could maintain a franchise. Like you said, St. Louis already had one that was taken from them. Then maybe you give Oakland the franchise back. I don't know, bro. It's like you said, it's a lot. Maybe you give San Diego their franchise back. Yeah, there's a lot of, like you said, that I can legitimately see. There's 3 or 4 markets that I can think of off top that probably could have sustained a franchise, bro. So, yeah, I can see that.
I mean, it's going to be interesting. I predict eventually you will see a pro team in either Nebraska or Oklahoma. Eventually.
Yeah. I can see that.
And that's going to be your long shot right there. But yeah, you've got teams, you've got places that used to have teams and are clamoring for teams to come back.
Yeah.
So
maybe you get a team. Maybe you could mess around and get a team. I don't know. Maybe that Gastonia. Well, man, that's already Charlotte. They already got one. But yeah, there's a bunch of places, bro.
Yeah, South Carolina. I mean, it'd be interesting. I don't think it would hold because you got Atlanta and North Carolina, you know, right on either side.
Check this out, my boy. You pack 80,000+ into Gamecock Stadium on Saturday. It's possible. You never know.
But that was built over decades. You got Tennessee, North Carolina, and Georgia already have teams, and you got South Carolina sitting there. It'd be interesting, but it opens up the possibilities if you have up to 40 teams. Imagine the wild card for that. Oh, your time.
Bang, bang, bang. All right, let's get it on, baby. So I came today prepared, so let's see how I do. I'm under the influence, so y'all bear with me. Listen, I know we talk about this a lot on the show. We talk about the state of boxing, right? What's going on with boxing? Something's interesting was brought to my attention. I was going through my social media. Andre Berto posed a question. He would say, hey, basically putting up all these fights, so they come up with how much these guys are getting paid by these networks that aren't traditional boxing networks. And it says, well, and then he starts talking about all the celebrities that are getting into boxing and how I juxtaposed it yesterday on the show. I said, bro, how do you feel about Jake Paul or Logan Paul saying that he'll be the highest paid prize fighter of all time? Well, because that's the crossroads we're at right now, people. That is the reality. Where we are now is we've already opened Pandora's box and she's out. We're slowly going down a rabbit hole now of, guess what? Your favorite entertainer is not going to become your favorite combat fighter. That's the way it's going to be. Jake Paul is going to end up being the most popular fighter in the history of the world. That's a fact, because more people will watch him than they'll probably watch Floyd Mayweather, Oscar De La Hoya, Sugar Ray Leonard, Muhammad Ali, and all the other greats you can think of combined. Because that is what the internet and social media has opened up boxing to. Bro, Triller just bought a purse bid for Teofimo Lopez. Is going to pay him far and away the most money he's ever made, bro, in a fight. To fight someone that's not even a real threat. Bro, you got Zab Judah throwing fights in Atlanta between hip-hop artists and Instagram influencers, and these arenas are packed. Bro, we at a time now where, guess what, WWE? Y'all beat us to it. Boxing. Get it together, because pretty soon you're going to be selling a whole lot more in your face. You're going to start selling gimmicks. And I ain't talking about just at press conferences and weigh-ins. So get ready.
Wow, that's true. That's true. Here's an interesting fact. Most people are watching the Derek Chauvin trial, but they're not really paying attention to what's going on. If you've heard or watched CNN, MSNBC, CNBC, your local news, nightly news, you're hearing certain facts coming out of the trial. But you got to really pay attention to what's going on. Derek Chauvin's going to be the sacrificial lamb, but they're not going to give him the punishment that he justly deserves. That's why they allowed them to throw the 3rd-degree murder charge on there. So it'd be something he could plead to when the evidence and the testimony gets so unbelievably mounting against him that there's no way his defense will be able to pose anything. So then the DA can go ahead and plea to, accept a plea for third degree, since that's on the charge now. And if you understand the degrees of a charge, you understand that would let him get less time, and they could put him somewhere where he would be safe if they choose to. The testimony on day 1 and 2 was very damning. One from a dispatcher who works for the Minneapolis City Police Department, and 2 from a guy who trains as a martial artist and trains with the Minneapolis City Police Department. So pay attention to what's not being said, and pay attention to the stipulations in the charges if you really want to understand what's going to happen to Derek Chauvin in that case. It's going to be more of a travesty than justice. That wasn't supposed to happen, but we're back. I know why that happened, because Sunday I had it set up like that. So, but we're still here. We're wrapping up now. What's going on, bro?
Man, look, I was watching like, man, does he know what's about to happen? But
nope, because he wasn't paying attention to the segment. It'd be nice to cue the blind man. Hey, do you realize
you was on the roll? I didn't want to. You was on the stride, bro. I didn't want to break you up. I'm just like, oh, maybe I'm tripping. Maybe it's the cabbage. Maybe that's really not the wrap up. Maybe it's really just, no, it was definitely the wrap up.
Well, you and my computer were on the cabbage because it decided it's checking out early. So, wow, that was interesting. Okay, well, thank you guys for joining in today. You actually did get a full show, so. Tune in tomorrow, April Fool's Day. We might want to rethink this because, that stuff goes wrong on April Fool's Day, bro. Yeah, exactly. So right now we'll be here tomorrow. Pay attention to your listings on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter to see if you see our show pop up that we're going live at 11. If it does, join us. All right, bro. Oh, shout out to my wife, daughter, mom, pops, Lipinski family, Facebook, Fighter Share Nation. All right.
Yeah, man, we appreciate y'all for tapping in with us. And yes, we will see y'all tomorrow at the same time. And we'll be a little more loose. We'll be a little more, fluid with our technical difficulties. Shouts out to who? Jack Johnson, the original heavyweight champ. I don't want to talk about his stats. I like the fact he just liked to drive his cars fast and have fun with a lot of white women. So that's all we got. So Fighter Nation, we will see y'all tomorrow. Be safe, spread the love out there. It's crazy. Peace.
Where are the white women at? Oh, now I don't want to go nowhere? You got to be kidding me. See, this is why we can't let black people get involved.